So I'm talking today with Debbie and Katie, Falls Prevention and Stress Management for the Aging Adult program at the library. We've been doing them on Tuesdays, and we have some exciting ones coming up. And Katie is going to be our guest at one of the ones happening in January. Debbie, why don't you do us the honors of introducing folks who haven't made it to any of your programs so far, and then introducing us to Katie.
All right, wonderful. Well, first of all, thank you again, Clayton, for allowing me to be able to do my work through the Quincy Public Library and QATV. My name is Debbie Lynn Toomey. For those of you who don't know, I work at Tufts Medical Center in our Level 1 trauma department, and my job is to keep people from ending up in the trauma center. So I do a lot of injury prevention work. I'm the injury prevention coordinator, and I do a lot of education out in the community and outreach so that people are more mindful and also reminded to just take extra care of themselves and their environment. So that way they're less likely to come in with unintentional injuries. And so the Aging Strong, the falls prevention, stress management program that I started back at the end of September is going to move forward. And in January and February, we'll be doing more programs. And in both months, we've switched the days from the first and third Tuesday to the second and fourth Tuesday of each month. And it'll be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And from time to time, I will invite some guests so that way we could learn from some other experts about ways to reduce stress and also prevent any falls. So in January 26th, I'm very excited to be able to invite my colleague from Beth Israel. Her name is Katie Kowalski, and she basically does what I do, but from a different hospital. So Katie, please introduce yourself and share with us what you're going to be talking about on January 26th.
Sure. Thank you both for having me. As Debbie said, my name is Katie Kowalski. I am the Injury Prevention Coordinator at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. And I am so excited to be talking about falls prevention. So I am the chapter director for our chapter of Think First, which is a national injury prevention foundation. And so I will be doing part of Think First for falls prevention. Typically, it's a 2-hour program, but because the program that you're doing, Debbie, is only an hour, we're going to do an abridged version. So we're going to address things such as fear of falling, an overview of the brain, safety inside the home, community safety, talking with your physician, as well as some resources and mindfulness.
Are these programs that, when you've done this program before, do you do them for anybody? We're obviously, we're talking about doing them for the aging adult. Hopefully all of us that are adults are aging, otherwise there's a serious problem. But I think we're especially thinking about folks that are, have been aging for longer than others, and for people who are caring for those folks. Is that accurate?
Yeah, typically the programs that I do are for folks who are around like 65 or so and older. But, I think everyone should be practicing some sort of falls prevention, even if it's just the home safety or making sure that you stay active.
In these days, with the pandemic and everybody is at home, I think, that's very sound advice and things that we can all benefit from. It can be hard to stay active. So I know I've learned a lot just listening to Debbie and the various programs, and just kind of these reminders are very helpful. So I'm really looking forward to what you bring in this Think First approach. So
I believe it's very important, especially it's good for people who are 65 and up, but also their children or people who live with them. Last night, my sisters and I were just kind of talking about what to get for our parents. And we said, let's get one of those portable light bicycle. So when they're watching TV, they could do that. And part of the conversation was, okay, is it heavy? Is it too heavy for our aging parents to move? Where should it be located? Well, is it a trip hazard? Because we're trying to make them stronger and healthier, but is it a trip hazard? So these are different factors that people who live with or, take care of their aging parents need to consider.
Right. And I think that, everyone has the best intentions in mind, but doing things can cause unintentional harm. So like you were saying, if the bike is too heavy, then that can pose a risk for like overexertion or even a tripping hazard if they're unable to move it.
Mhm.
Sounds like this is also some of those like kind of, I've seen, and had friends, I've even thought about it myself, that the couch to 5K approach, so that, just because you want to be able to do something means you may need to take some steps to get there. Just jumping right into something that may be, exhausting is a great, recipe for disaster. Whether it's, actual injury, or it could be just, you burn out. It's too hard to try it first and you overwhelm yourself. And you say, okay, this is not for me. I just have to stop. It's always a lot better to do these in steps that are manageable so that you can, be kind to yourself as you're making yourself stronger.
Absolutely. And some of the other programs that I offer, Debbie and I are both instructors for Tai Chi Chuan, Moving for Better Balance. I'm also a Matter of Balance instructor. And those programs can seem very, very intimidating because of the exercise component. But the reality is we start very slow. And so we build up as the participants' tolerance is able to.
So this is really exciting, learning all about, thinking first and all the people it could help. And I hope that we can have you back at some point in the future. Maybe we can do, instead of doing a super abbreviated piece, we can take our time with this. It's obviously one of the things we're encouraging people to do is to think and not be so rushed as we do things. So I would love it, Katie, if you could, do some for us here at this next one, and we'll talk with Debbie, and maybe we can find a way to invite you back. How does that sound?
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
wonderful.
That's
I love
great.
it. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Well, I am so excited to have Debbie continue to do this. I know that this is a program that's great for people to join when we do it live here on Zoom. But a lot of folks I know can benefit. They can share this with people at a time that really works within their own schedules. So, we'll be recording these programs and we're making them available on QATV. We are also, they're available on our YouTube channel. So that really after the fact, people can tune back in and gain from these. There's a lot of times, maybe you're just not in the right headspace when it first comes, or that it's inconvenient, or making breakfast, or whatever it is that's happening at the time that the program's live, or even the first time you watch it recorded. So the beauty of having things always on demand, these will be on demand. And I really appreciate that, and your willingness to contribute and just share that with your community, all your knowledge. So Katie, Debbie, thank you so much. I hope that together we can all live stronger, more mindful, and enjoyable lives. So I really appreciate your contribution so that we can do that. Thank you.
Right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Clayton. Thank you, Katie.